the one signal that makes an avoidant come closer. This one signal may look like vulnerability, but it actually triggers their deepest desire and makes them come closer. Avoidants are masters of emotional distance. They keep you at arm's length, send mixed signals, and make you feel like you're always the one trying to break through their walls. Their entire emotional system is built around one core fear: being overwhelmed by someone else's needs. They create distance not because they don't want connection, but because connection feels suffocating. They've learned that letting someone in means losing themselves, so they keep everyone in this strange dance where they're present enough to maintain a relationship, but distant enough to protect their independence. Most people try to connect with an avoidant by sharing their feelings, asking for reassurance, or trying to have deep conversations about the relationship. They think if they just express their needs clearly enough, the avoidant will finally understand and open up. But this approach backfires every time. Why? Because it activates the avoidance alarm system. Every emotional need you express feels like a demand to them. Every request for closeness feels like a trap. The signal I'm sharing works because it shows them you can handle your own emotions without needing them to fix or validate you. When an avoidant sees you being emotionally self-sufficient while still being warm, something fascinating happens. Their guard drops because for the first time, closeness doesn't feel dangerous. The psychology behind why this works runs deep. Avoidants learned early that emotional needs lead to disappointment or overwhelm. Maybe they had parents who were inconsistent, or they were expected to be independent too young. They developed this incredible ability to shut down their attachment system and convince themselves they're fine alone. But here's what most people don't understand. Avoidants actually crave deep connection just as much as anyone else. They just believe it comes with a price they can't afford to pay. In relationships, they're constantly scanning for signs that you're going to become too needy or demanding. It's like they have an internal meter that measures how much emotional energy you require. And when it gets too high, they pull back. They're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to protect themselves from feeling trapped or responsible for your happiness. This is why being sad around them makes them uncomfortable. This is why asking for more time together makes them feel suffocated. Your needs feel like quicksand to them. The more you express them, the more they want to run. Avoidants have a weird relationship with emotional independence. When someone seems to need them too much, they feel burdened and want to escape. But when someone is emotionally stable and self-sufficient while still being open and caring, their entire nervous system relaxes. Suddenly, being close doesn't feel like drowning. It feels like floating. Their brain stops seeing you as a threat to their autonomy and starts seeing you as a safe person to actually connect with. The signal that makes them come closer is showing emotional regulation without shutting down. This means when something upsets you, instead of immediately turning to them for comfort or validation, you process it yourself first. You might say something like, "I had a rough day at work. Going to take a walk to clear my head," instead of, "I had the worst day and really need to talk." You're not hiding your emotions. You're showing that you can handle them. When you do share feelings, you share them as information, not as problems they need to solve. Here's the crucial part. You can't fake this. Avoidants are incredibly sensitive to emotional manipulation because they've been protecting themselves their whole lives. If you're pretending to be okay when you're not, they'll sense it immediately and pull back even more. This signal only works when it comes from genuine emotional maturity. You actually have developed the ability to self-soothe and regulate your emotions. You have to genuinely be okay whether they come closer or not. The timing of this signal matters. You can't suddenly switch from being emotionally dependent to completely self-sufficient overnight. That looks suspicious and calculated. Instead, you gradually show more emotional stability. When something bothers you, take a beat before reacting. When you're anxious about the relationship, journal about it or talk to a friend before bringing every worry to them. When they're being distant, Instead of asking what's wrong or are we okay, you simply continue living your life and being warm when they do engage. What happens when you do this consistently is remarkable. At first, they might not even notice a change consciously, but their nervous system notices. They start feeling different around you, lighter, more relaxed. They find themselves wanting to spend more time with you because it doesn't feel draining anymore. You'll notice them initiating contact more often, not because you ask them to, but because they genuinely want to. They might start sharing things about their day unprompted or asking about yours with real interest. The first sign it's working is usually subtle. They stop taking as long to respond to texts. They seem more present when you're together, less like they have one foot out the door. You might catch them looking at you differently, almost like they're seeing you for the first time. Some avoidants will test this new dynamic by sharing something vulnerable about themselves. This is huge because they're checking if you can handle their emotions the same way you handle your own. Don't expect them to suddenly become emotionally expressive overnight. Instead, you'll notice them doing more actions that show care. They might remember something you mentioned weeks ago, make plans further in advance, or start including you in parts of their life they kept separate before. One telling sign is when they start coming to you when they're stressed instead of withdrawing. This means they started seeing you as a source of peace rather than pressure. The timeline varies, but most people notice changes within 3 to 6 weeks of consistently showing emotional self-sufficiency. The key word is consistently. If you slip back into old patterns of needing constant reassurance or getting anxious when they need space, you reset the clock. Some avoidants will move faster, especially if they've been working on their own attachment issues. Others might take months to fully trust that this new dynamic is real. If this shifted how you see avoidance, imagine what will happen when you keep peeling back the layers. I share practical, psychology-backed tools like this, so you can create calmer, closer connections without losing yourself. If this resonated with you, pass it along to someone who'd love it too, and drop your thoughts below. I love hearing your perspective.